Hello guys, this is me here. Today we're going to take a look at a package that I was mentioning previously. Although this is the weirdest type of package I ever seen because of how it's designed. But we're going to take a look and see what's inside of it. Now the thing is that I don't know what's inside of this, so we're going to take a look at it and open it up, shall we? Alright, so I paid like $10 for this thing. I haven't seen what's inside of this. I had to black out the address or whatever this is, but what I can say is that I got this package from the Netherlands, and I'm gonna see what's inside of here because it's actually interesting. Today we're gonna take a look at, let's see what's inside. I think it's supposed to, oh look, we got something here. Oopsie. This is hard to take out. Oh, look. It's what I ordered. So today we're going to take a look at the Majorette tanker truck and what are my thoughts about it. Or what's cool about this thing. So, this was, I believe, part of a series. I think it's called the something mover series, or is it? I think it's called Super Tandems, actually, not Super Movers. Super Movers was the larger scale of this. But we're going to take a look at this and see what we got here. So this is, so we're going to take a look at the Majorette Super Tandems esso tanker truck with a Mercedes cab. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's a Mercedes. It has like a logo there. And what's cool about this, so I got this item on eBay for about like $10, which is not bad if it's old, although it could be bad if it's, let's say, in used condition like this one. Although there were some good and bad news about this one. So the good news is obviously not because of the condition or because you know, the good news is that I got this, I got this, for a cheap price, which is okay. It's because most of these for some reason were expensive, and there were only 2 of these available, and I got one of them, and I think the last one was a shell tanker, which is like the same tanker, but with different colors, and the cab was the same too. It was probably a little bit better condition than this one, although from what I'm seeing it looks okay though. It's not terrible, but oh well, we'll look more into it. But I just wanted to say what's weird about this toy. Unlike any other toys or anything that I ever got on eBay, this took literally a while to get here. In fact, we were actually panicking to where I thought it was a scam, and I, for some reason, had to get my money back, or I had to get the money back. Although what we didn't know was that it was actually a delay the whole time, because we eventually got the item here, and we thought it was a scam, but it actually wasn't. Now, this item came from the Netherlands, which is interesting. I don't get too many toys or items that are from there, but it's interesting. But yeah, so this is the weirdest one, like, it's not how it looks is weird, it's for the fact that I somehow, because, here's the thing, because we didn't get it quickly, we for some reason got our money back. Although what was weird was that at the time I was sick, this eventually arrived, and I was like in deep shock, and in a strange way I was like, we just somehow got the model for free since we got our money back. So just for warning, yes, you should be careful of scams, but at the same time you should be careful that you don't want to assume it's a scam, because what if you, let's say because if you return the item back, or if you return, like, if you, let's say, get your money back, the item that you wanted you know, previously is not going to come back to your house. Although somehow I was able to get it, even though the money was returned. So just be careful not only with scams, but just be careful of assuming it's a scam. Because what if you accidentally think it's a scam, but then you never, and then you're like, oh, why did I just got my money back? I regret, you know, doing this. I should have just waited for a while. You know, honestly, sometimes shipping requires patience. Okay, you got to be careful of scams, but you also got to be patient and not assume it is. Thankfully, we got our item back, but if the item was, let's say, where it was previously, we would have had not got it, and this video would have had not been made. So, you know, that'd be the negative part. So, now, the interesting thing about this tanker truck and why I got it was because of the design. The design I thought was pretty realistic and pretty cool. Although, I think since this is from a company called, yeah, it's from Majorette, it's going to have a bit of a European style tanker. Although this type of tanker, I don't know if it is European or not because it looks too long, like the USA tankers. And it seems to have some detail that looks a little bit, I don't know how you describe it. But I think it looks cool either way, so it's actually not a bad tanker if you're using it for layouts that are, let's say, for the United States. Like if you have the layout that is for, let's say, Canada, this shouldn't be a bad item to get. In fact, I actually, now that I see it, I plan on making impressions out of this or molding. But just to let you know, guys, if I was doing, let's say, customs or moldings, I would not sell them unless I take off some of the trademarks of it, because I can't actually, like, if you wanted to, like, you can't actually always, because it can be due to copyright issues. So it's not only that, I just also don't like always selling my things. Sometimes I would want to sell things, but I don't always. Most of the time I just keep them. And if I was, let's say, to make a bunch of customs out of this, I'm not giving them away. And if I was giving it away, I would only give it away to my cousins or anyone else, like, let's say, my family members or something. But I'm not gonna sell them as a official item or anything like that. So if you do see a time where I have a bunch of these, don't, like, ask me to, like, let's say, oh, could I borrow one of those? Because I don't sell toys that I copied or I make all the time. Because when you actually are making something, you actually sometimes have to pay tribute, or you have to pay licensing for those companies, and it can be hard to do. And it's kind of a pain for me, so I don't want to do that. But what I will say, though, is that the details on it are interesting. You have, and I never had this before, it has this railing here which I think would lift up in real life so that the driver doesn't fall off. And I don't know if this is the only tanker I have to where there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 manhole lids. The previous tanker I just did a review on, which was those Maisto haulers or Adventure Force, actually had 4 only. There was only 1, 2, 3, 4 circles on the top. This one has 8. Like if this was a jumbo tanker. That is just interesting, I think. Oh, and now the details, you know, we didn't just see the details on the trailer. There's also this to where the hose thing is more like a fire truck roll thing, whatever. It has some interesting wheels. The hoses are nice. It has the logo there. I think someone was trying to fix, and so is the marking, whatever. This is the back of it. It's an interesting design. It has like lights here and lights here, and it has this actually where it's assembled. It also has a ladder there and an embossed flammable logo, which I find pretty cool. It does have something it says something here that I can't, like, I'm trying to read it up close. It says something Titan or T-Fan trailer. I don't, it doesn't say trailer, but it just says T-Fan as if it was the company. Let me know in the comments what it really says, because I have no idea. Although it has like lights here, and it has like a triangular warning thing, whatever. This is the side of it. It's slightly different. It's the same side, but the difference is the plastic. It has like the hose gauges, which is what you plug the tanker hose into the gas station. That's pretty cool. And the trailer can attach. It has an interesting type of lock to where you have to do it like this. But if it's, let's say, straight, it's not going to come off. It will only come off if the cab is like this because of the design. You know, and you can't, like, because of the like, just look at the kingpin. You see how it's a like, not a, no. Okay, it looks like a regular kingpin, but it has, like, these two knobs on both ends to where it can only be attached if you attach it, like, sideways like this. Which I find is clever, because most of the time if you were, let's say, driving it straight, you don't want the trailer to just come off. So that's kind of a clever way they can attach trailers. It's not bad, actually. But there you go. So that's the design. It's kind of reminds you of a Hutchinson trailer, but it isn't, or a Fruhuff. But it's not a Fruhuff, though. Details on it, though, overall are okay for a kid's toy. It's not actually that bad, although it remains as a collector's item nowadays. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I ever had an esso tanker, so this is like my first esso truck in my collection. However, what is funny, though, is that most of the tanker truck toys I have are mostly white tankers. I don't have too many. I mean, I have some silver tanker trucks, but most of the time whenever I'm getting a toy tanker, it's always a white tanker. I'm not so sure the reason of it is, but I still think it's cool, though, anyways. I don't mind having white tankers. I think, you know, I think it kind of makes it rare if it was a white tanker in real life, because there's most of the time silver tanker trucks. But whatever. Now the cab, I didn't see the cab yet, so we'll take a look at the cab. The cab looks, it's kind of plain looking, but it's not terrible. It has some nice, like, detailing. It's interesting. Has a nice black grille there, the Mercedes logo. It has a bumper there. It has the windows. Pretty cool. It's not bad. I don't know what this piece is here for. That's kind of strange. It kind of looked like this could have been based on a dump truck, but it isn't. It actually came like this from what I'm seeing. There seems to be also many different variants of cabs and trailers that whichever one that Majorette has ever released. I think there was a time where I had someone had like a GMC Brigard truck or something, or Brigid, whatever that is, pulling that exact same tanker, except I think it was a Texaco. Yeah, there's a Texaco version. There's Shell one. Something also funny I noticed is that this tanker is reminding me of the Matchbox Convoy series tanker trailer, or the Yatming tanker, mostly the Yatming. Now, I believe Majorette was the first one, and let me know in the comments about this, but why did Matchbox or Yatming started to use the similar designs of tanker that Majorette has used? I believe Majorette was like made in the 70s, so, and I don't know when was Yatming released. Yatming, by the way, looks similar to this. Like, they have the exact same, I believe it's the same mold of trailer, except for the branding and stuff, and the wheels would be different, but I believe the top of it is like the same design, and so is the hoses. What I would do if I were you is, if you have a computer, I would just Google Matchbox Convoy's tanker truck, and and also just when you Google the Convoy series, you choose the old one. You don't show or look at the new ones. You look at the old ones, like the Super Gas one, the Shell one. There was even one that was exclusively for James Bond, which I think was called a License to Kill pack. The only difference was that that tanker was like, it was like the same color as this, but it had like stripes there. So, yeah. So I believe Yatmain and Matchbox, I think, took inspirations of this Majorette trailer, and if that is an interesting type of copy. However, because they are licensed products, I don't consider them as knockoffs. I rather consider them as inspirational offs or inspirational knockoffs, which is a type of knockoff genre to where they just, and it's very similar to the Hess truck I did a long time ago, where I had this other toy that was very similar mold as the Hess one, except it was called ShopRite. So is getting this Majorette truck a good idea? So far it actually is. I kind of recommend it, even though it may be a copy, or the Yatmain one could be a copy of this. It's actually not that bad, and for the design of it, I kind of like it, even if it was based on a European design. I think this is the coolest type of trailer I've ever seen. Most trailers nowadays look so weird looking for the European style of trailers. So this is not bad if you're trying to, you know, if you're looking for trailers. However, I have been seeing, like, when it comes to, depending on the region of truck you prefer, if you prefer European trucks or American trucks, okay, maybe not, like, you can just see how you want a realistic one. I haven't seen any toys that have Canadian trucks, because Canadian trucks actually are double trailers, very similar to road trains, but they're more proper design, I call it, because they don't have as much wheels. They only had like 3 on the Tridem pup trailer, but then the other pup trailer only has 4 axles or 4 tires, whatever it is, like a regular trailer. I could actually even show you what a B-train looks like for an example. So for those who don't fully know or don't know what a B-train is, here's an example of one actually. If I pull this big boy up, look at this. Look how massive this thing is. And even though it may, just because of the scale, if it had existed, this trailer would have been longer than all the other ones. Look at this. 1, 2 tankers. This only has 1. Now, the first thing about this, although there is one good reason why there are these tankers that have like the double trailers. Now, this one is like a custom model. I'm not gonna plan on selling it. I believe this was now this one is interesting because this was like half knockoff Lego wheels, but half of a monster truck wheels that were also part of a knockoff. Is not so great quality. I was able to use all the wheels to turn into something quite nice. However, it was only on the cab. It's not as great, but I still like it though, and I think I still did a good job. What was funny is that this was originally, I believe, a Tonka monster truck, but I honestly thought that the cab for it was just so bad. Not the design, but for the wheels, it just, because this was actually based on a Freightliner, a Corando or whatever that is, a Coronado or something. I don't know how to say that name, but it's based on a Freightliner. In fact, it even has a design that's very inspirational to the Freightliners. Now, since I actually used to see a tanker truck, a double tanker that actually has Freightliner cabs like these, I decided to make one up at my own since they didn't have any models. Although the simplest way that people do it is they cut off parts of a tanker and just make 2 tankers, or any trailer really. This one here, it's all blank unfortunately, but it will have a label one day. I'm not going to put the label on because I'm trying to figure which should have which. I kind of honestly prefer having blank models when it comes to detailing. It's so that you don't have to worry about changing the logos. In fact, I would prefer using the logos nowadays as stickers than just, and here's another one I made also, except this is a slightly smaller one, but it is the same. It's another double tanker, or it's a B train I call it, except this B train is different. Because it, for some reason, has a design that is just, because then I don't know why some have this. Some have like this black thing that goes around it, but then others don't have it, but still have it though. It's just a different color. So I don't know what's going on there. And also, just to note, this is actually based on a 2020 trailer of, I think this is a Tremcar Industries. And this other one is based on a, I don't know what year this could be made in, 2014, 2013, Tremcar trailer. I don't know why, but the newer one seems to be shinier than this one. This is my older one, but it still has been made, like, I think 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, I'm not so sure. It was actually 1 year ago. I made it in 2022, this last year. Somewhere in like April. Since this Greenlight Mac Anthem was not having any trailers, I decided that the trailer for this could be pulled. It did come with a trailer on its own, or a cab actually, but the cab color of it has to be fixed because the green that I painted it with is so ugly. So I'm just gonna have to substitute for this to show. But anyway, yeah. So this is what double tankers look like, or what double trailers look like in Canada. They are, like, to be fair, the trucks at first will look the same as the United States ones. It's just sometimes the trailers. Although there are some single trailers that are pulled, but for some reason the single trailers have a lot of wheels for some reason, kind of like the Michelin trucks. So I don't know what the point of those are. Let me know in the comments. What I do know is the reason why these are made, these double vehicles, is because of turnability. Now you know how, now I don't know if you ever seen this. You see how when I turn this, it like swings open? It's not like it just like the way how the trailer articulates, it just like makes a wide turn. When I use this, when I do it with this truck, you see how it turns much, it's hard to see. I could just show you. So this is how wide the single trailers turn. Look at this. You see how it just, like it's a very wide turning. Look at this one here when I turn this. It turns much easier from what I'm seeing, even though you would be thinking, how can the longer trailer be easier to turn if you're using a single trailer? Single trailers are also easy to turn, or they're more easier to back up, but if it was to cities, in fact, I never even realized this, but Billy Bishop Airport even had double tankers in the past going to the ferries. So that's very interesting to see. I think I might have been talking too much about these double tankers. Oh, something cool I did with them is that I added lights that can reflect. It's hard to see. If I do it, you can't see it well, it's hard to see. But these are actually reflector lights. Like, what they do is if you shine it at a light specifically, they would be shining. It's very interesting. I don't know if it's because of the position I am that it's not working, but I still did it anyways. You know, they still look cool. So yeah, so should you get these Majorette trucks, and are they very good? The only problem is the scale. Unfortunately, the scale of it is not correct, but if you can get past that, it's a very neat model. And I think with other trailers, it probably goes well with it, especially with my trailer collection. I have like a lot of these single ones like these. But I don't have too many of these where they have this design that looks like it can turn tighter. I call it a bended design. Even double tankers actually had that in the past. They used to have this flare design to where the tanker can turn easier and it doesn't have like an edge or something. Nowadays they all have this newer design. I don't know what the purpose of it is, but overall, if you're into collecting models, this is not a bad option for you, and I recommend it. Anyways, this video unfortunately is getting too long, although I think my previous one was much longer. But yeah, so the quality of it is quite nice, and what's cool about Majorette, I forgot to mention, is that unlike other toys, they are made in France. Although there are some models nowadays that are like, let's say, made in Germany, there was even ones that used to be made in Canada or in the USA. But that can be very rare sometimes. But overall, I actually like this truck, and I actually even plan on, because I plan on making some sort of a short film or some interesting movie of my own, where it involves, I think, one of these tankers. I plan on making a bunch of these trailers because I want to have like a little strange team. I could even, if I wanted to replicate the James Bond License to Kill tanker scene, I just have to find different cabs. But for now, I'm just gonna do regular reviews. When I have everything, I plan on making everything. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.